Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Patrick, or otherwise known as Scotty. Just wanted to kind of give you guys an update of what's going on with the food trailer, aka Sweet Seoul LLC, the food trailer that I'm currently trying to build. So here's where we're at. So currently on Kickstarter, we have one person donating $5,000. Now I'm not sure if this pledge will remain because I've had a couple different scammers already try to pledge and then take away the pledge a few days later, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping that they're legit. They've backed. I think they've said that they've backed 10 people already, so I'm a little more hopeful. So if you guys can help, that's fantastic. It's not just giving me money. It's not giving the business money. It's you're getting something out of it. So depending on how much you give, the more you give, the more you get. So basically, so for $5,000, you actually get a privately catered party free of charge because you're already paying for that. You're basically paying up front for services. So for the $5,000, you get a privately catered party at no additional expense to you. You've already paid that through the $5,000. Granted, there are some restrictions in terms of location. I can do about 100 miles. There's a little leeway with that, but you have to remember I would be hauling a 20-foot trailer, and then days and things like that. But that's what you get for $5,000. I mean, I think that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good thing, especially because I think it's for. I would have to look. I don't have it up right now. And I don't think I have it. I'm doing this on the fly here. So here we go. So I am on my Kickstarter campaign. And for $5,000, it's the highest level we have. So you get a privately catered party for you and up to 35 of your friends. So for 36 of you guys, you get a privately catered party. You also get things like free entree. I think you get 5 free entrees. So if you come and see me at various events or wherever I'm parked throughout the year, you get 5 free entrees. You also get 5 free jars of 32-ounce jars of freshly made kimchi. You get 3 custom-made t-shirts, 3 custom-made hats. We would be having a launch party, so you'd be invited for that, the catering, and then you would also have a name put on the trailer. So and that's for the life of the trailer. So, and that's anytime we even upgrade the design. So like, I'm starting on just not really doing a whole lot I'm not putting like a vinyl wrap to start because you're talking thousands of dollars. So I would probably just do vinyl stickers to start. When we do upgrade to a vinyl wrap, you would still have your name on there. So the life of the trailer, you would have your name on there. Like $2,500. It's a private catering up to I think 20 you and 25 of your friends and family. So I mean, these are good. I mean, these are worthwhile deals because I mean, stuff like this. I mean, it's very expensive. So that's where we're at with Kickstarter. We did start a Patreon to help raise funds. I did put both links on our website. I believe I've also put it on our Facebook and our TikTok. So I've really plastered it. Let's see. I'm planning on still purchasing the trailer. I'm waiting till February. I just kind of want to let things die down a little bit. It's been a little bit of a rough month. There's some things that might be transitioning in my work life because I do still work full time and still going to school part time. So I'm just kind of holding off till February. I am looking at a 20-foot trailer, which I know it's a pretty big trailer, but I want to be able to get one trailer that'll last me for years, not buy a trailer and then have to buy another one in a year and another one year after that. I think a 20-foot trailer would service me very well for many years. And since I'm doing the build out on the trailer, I really kind of only want to do it once. So the other aspect of that is I did apply for a local food truck incubator. So there's a local food truck incubator company out of Milwaukee. I applied for them. I haven't heard back. And if that was the case, if I did get approved, I wouldn't have to fork up all this money up front to buy my own trailer. I believe we work it into a financing deal with the incubator for an 18-foot trailer. So I'm still waiting to hear from them. I'm really hopeful, but I'm not sure. Like I said, it's been like 3 or 4 days. I haven't heard anything. And big news too. So we've been approved as a new vendor at the Kenosha Harbor Market. It's basically Kenosha's farmers market. It runs May through October. So first weekend of May all the way through the last weekend of October. Happens every Saturday. I believe I want to say it's either 9 or 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't quote me on that. I'm still kind of getting everything. I mean, I just found out about the approval on Friday. So that's really exciting. And that was Friday evening, like late Friday evening. So still got a lot of work to do. I'm still working on finalizing our general liability insurance. I just got our seller's permit, so from the state of Wisconsin. So we have an LLC, we have a seller's permit. I'm also working on a commercial kitchen. In case the incubator falls through, I want to have a backup plan. So I'm working with a restaurant in Kenosha, which actually only is about 3 miles from the harbor market. And I would rent commercial space through them. I would have to get permitted. So you're talking about more money for permits and licenses. So several $100s. So I'm hoping to get that set up at least by the end of January. But that's where we're at there. Now you're probably wondering, like, oh, he keeps asking for money. Like, I need help. Like, I'm not made of money. I do intend to spend a lot of my own personal money. We're probably looking at somewhere upwards of $10,000 to $15,000 when it's all said and done, just by like May, June. And that's like putting virtually all of my tax refund. I'm supposed to get some bonus money. Just saving, and I'm hoping that there's, like I said, there's something with the job. I'm hoping something happens there. So it's not like I'm not putting any skin in the game. I've already forked over several $100s, and getting everything set up to where we are now. But I need help. I have spoken with the Hmong Chamber of Commerce to try and get a small loan. And by small loan, I mean like 10, 15, 20,000 max, which will cover pretty much everything that I would need. But just in case, once again, I like to have options. I want to make sure that there's enough funds, because I do want to hire when I'm ready to go, I want to hire at least 1 or 2 part-timers. And especially if I'm doing a party, like if I'm doing this private catering up to 35 people, I'm going to need at least 2 people to help. I need one person to take orders. I need another person to help prep and cook and assemble everything. Because I don't want people waiting 10 minutes per item. I mean, that would be terrible. It'd be terrible for your party. So there's a lot of expenses. I can't get a traditional loan. As I've said before, I had a business back during COVID, and I ended up losing it at the tail end of COVID, and I lost almost everything. So let me just tell you, it's just bad timing. And for those of you who are like, hey, like, do you have the experience to open a food trailer? I've worked several years in food. I currently have my food manager certification. I've had it for a few years. I've worked in commercial kitchens. I have been baking for over 20 years. I have been cooking since I was about 9 years old. My mom was a home ec teacher, so I learned to cook early on. I went through some family trauma and kind of started cooking on a bigger scale when I was 12, when my father died. So kind of helped take on some of the responsibilities to help my family. So I've been cooking for a long time. I don't have a certificate. I don't have a degree for cooking and baking, but I've been making cheesecakes for a long time. I've been cooking Korean food for a long time. And my cheesecakes, you can ask anyone that's ever tried my cheesecakes, and 99.9% of the people are going to tell you that it's probably the best cheesecake they've ever had. And I'm not even trying to toot my own horn. That's just what other people have said. So I really want to bring that to the community. I want to share that. I love the joy of seeing people eat that delicious, completely unhealthy cheesecake, but absolutely delicious. I mean, it puts a smile on your face, and that brings a lot of warmth to my heart. So, I want to share that with people. I want to share the delicious and nutritious aspects of Korean food, Korean tacos, bulgogi, beef bulgogi, spicy pork, spicy chicken, doing rice bowls, tteokbokki, and things like that. So I want to share that with you because I love that food almost most Korean food is very healthy for you. Kimchi is amazingly healthy for you. It's fermented cabbage. It's a lot of insoluble fibers. It's spicy, helps the gut. It has natural probiotics, so it helps your gut. It's just very good for you. So I just want to bring that to the world. So here's where we're at in terms of how much money I'm gonna need. And this is subject to how much things cost. We know that things change by the month, sometimes even by the day. So I need to get a 36-inch griddle, and that's $600 on the cheap end. And mind you, these all have to be commercial grade. I can't just buy like a home, something for the house and use it for the food truck. I have to get licensed. Everything has to be permitted. So it has to be approved. And most home use appliances are not going to get approved for commercial use. So $1,800 for a 25-inch wide oven with a range, like a stove. That's because some things just can't be made on the griddle. Things like the teobaki. $1,500 for a 4-foot wide refrigerated sandwich prep table, and that's for like making the tacos and prepping everything, doing all the last touches before I serve it to you. $300 for a professional or commercial grade countertop fryer. I don't want a big fryer. I don't think I'm gonna be making that much Korean fried chicken, but you never know. But I would have room to upgrade. That's why I'm looking at a 20-foot trailer. We need $400 in like a steam table / food warmers. $1,500 for sinks. So I need a 3-part sink. I need a hand wash sink and both a freshwater tank and a gray water tank. Those tanks are very expensive. They range anywhere on the cheap end, $200 up to like $700-800. And I need to be able to have enough space so I can do dishes, cook the food, things like that. So $1,500 in miscellaneous utensils, pots and pans, things like that. One of the big ones, $4,000 for 2 single door refrigerators. Once again, commercial grade. I can't just take a regular fridge and stick it in there. Another huge expense, the hood. Since I'm going to have grease, I'm going to be producing grease when I cook. I have to have a grade 1 hood, and it has to have a fire suppression system. What stinks about that is I can do some of the hood install. I can do the basic hood install, but I can't install the fire suppression system. It's a Wisconsin state law. I have to have it done by a certified professional. So it's going to cost somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 to get that, unless I can find somebody cheaper. And if you know somebody in Southeast Wisconsin that does that can help me out, fantastic. Concession window, I'm going to start off with 1. I believe it's like a 6-foot or 8-foot window by 4 feet tall. It's about $500. And then there's the building materials. Well, so everything else is kind of more like before the walls are up and things like that. Now I'm talking about the stuff just to get to the walls, just to make sure I can have all that stuff to plug into. So simple things like insulation, $400. I actually just sat here for the last hour and a half and calculated all the costs, broke it down by footage, inches, everything. So, and this is kind of going more on the cheaper end. So you're talking about like $400 on insulation. If I wanted stainless steel walls, because food trailers have to be washed down, that's pretty much with commercial kitchens in general. You have to be able to wash down the walls, the ceiling, things like that. Ideally, I would want to do stainless steel because it looks better. It's going to last longer. It's $3,700. But I can go with an RFP, which is a plastic, for $700. So I might do a mix of that. And then maybe after the first year, I upgrade to stainless steel, which would be a pain in the absolute rear end to take everything out to rebuild it. But it is what it is. So on the low end, $700. High end, $3,700. The flooring, it's a PVC washable flooring. It would be 1 roll that goes the whole entire length. It's $400. Once again, has to be wash down rated, has to be commercial grade. I can't just stick. You might be able to get away with putting in like a vinyl floor, like a vinyl plank flooring, but I mean you're kind of playing with fire there because you don't know how the inspector is gonna react to that. I would rather do things by the book. Plus the PVC flooring that I have, it's actually got a little cushion to it, so it helps with your knees, helps with your feet, especially if you're gonna be on your feet for 10-12 hours, which I am. So I would rather just spend a little, get the good flooring, $400, and that's on the lower end. I could get higher end flooring that's going to be double and triple that, but $400 is the cheapest I could find locally. Electrical, since everything has to be washed down rated, I'd have to go with plastic PVC. Conduit, it's about $80. The boxes, the switches, and the outlets, that's where most of the money is, because I need things like GFCI outlets, circuit breaker panels, which I would have. I could probably get by with an indoor panel, but I would rather use an outdoor panel. And then circuit breakers and things like that, you're looking at $1,200. That includes also the wiring. So I would have to use 12 gauge wire to use with 20 amp breakers. I like to be safe. I know that the refrigerators I'm looking at they run about 3.3 amps, but I like, being an electrical guy, I like to err on the side of caution. You don't want to run things right up to the max. You want some leeway in case there's some fluctuations, because electrical components do fluctuate in power. So I'm going to need a generator. There's two options: just a quiet generator that's going to produce enough power. Let's say I haven't decided whether the griddle is going to be propane or if it's going to be electric. If it's electric, it's gonna suck up so much juice. The refrigerators, you got 3 refrigerators essentially. You got the 2 verticals, you got the sandwich prep table. I might get another small under the counter, and then you got the griddle, you've got the steam table. So you got a lot of stuff plugged in. So I would have to get like a I think it's 11,000 kilowatt generator. It runs about $2,200 on Harbor Freight. Maybe I could find one cheaper. But think about right around 2,000. Now, ideally, I would rather go with the solar generator. Doesn't produce any noise, doesn't use any fuels. You can recharge it by plugging it in at the end of the night, or you could also hook up solar power and use that while you're operating. That's what I would ideally like to use, but that's $5,500. That's just insane. It's another $3,000, not including solar panels. So moving on to plumbing, we've got pipes, fittings, tanks, another $600. Hot water heater, I would use a tankless water heater. It's going to run about $200. Now you got the propane, just the pipe, the fittings, the regulator. You're looking at about $400, give or take. That's not including the propane tanks. You're probably looking at another $400 on top of that. And then there's the supplies, things like stainless steel tables, $550. I would put in about 8 security cameras, which I would hook up to like a Starlink when I'm operating, and that's $1,100. And then you got a POS system. For everything, you're talking about the POS system, you're talking about the printers and the cash drawer and things like that. Everything, and you're looking at about $1,200 for a decent system. So overall, on the low end, you're looking at about $26,000. On the high end, I could go 30 to 35 easily, just by getting better equipment, because you're talking about lower end griddles and things like that. These aren't like Viking. These aren't high end appliances. So just to get started. So once again, I have the Kickstarter campaign. I have the Patreon set up. The Patreon, I'll be making exclusive videos for that, behind the scenes, especially once I start building this. Once I get that trailer, probably within 2 to 3 weeks of me getting that trailer, I'm going to be building. Every weekend, I'll be making videos on me building it, so you could see it behind the scenes. There'll be bloopers. There'll be probably some more in-depth stuff that I'll be showing you guys. So how do I get to $22,000? Because I believe that's the goal that I have set up on Kickstarter. And forgive me, I am running this as we speak. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, look at that. 2 project followers. Okay. So yeah, so $22,000 is what I am asking, what I need help with. It's a lot of money. So, but how can we get there? I mean, if this backer stays, this $5,000 backer stays, that'd be fantastic. Would be super appreciative. we would only need, I can't do the math in my head right now, $17,000 on top of that. But to get to $22,000, that's 888 people at $25 a month, or $25 a month, $25 one-time fee, 220 people at $100, 88 people at $250, 22 people at $1,000, and 9 people at $2,500. Now, if we take the $17,000, let's say hypothetically our $5,000 backer stays and actually does give that, we're looking at 7 people at $2,500. So everything just gets tremendously lower. But it's helping through volume. It's there's millions of people just in the United States alone. There's millions of people in Southeast Wisconsin alone. And I do believe, even though it's been a little bit of a struggle, I know that a lot of people are hesitant to give, especially because I haven't shown a trailer yet. I haven't done any of that yet. It's working. It's in the, it's, everything takes time. I have to move sometimes at the speed of government. Like, I'm still waiting to hear back from the Kenosha Health Department on the permitting process for the food trailer and the commercial kitchen, and just seeing how much that's going to cost, see what the turnaround time for that is. So just, a lot of times I'm just waiting. But I assure you, by the end of February, I should have a trailer. And then hopefully by the end of February, at the latest early March, I should be working on that trailer. It's going to take me probably a good 3 weeks to build it out, to do it right. And I'm talking, when I say 3 weeks, I mean like Saturday, Sundays, for like 8-10 hour days. So we're talking a lot of time. But by me doing all this work, it's gonna save, I believe I did the math, it's somewhere upwards like $20,000 to $30,000 in labor. Because these food trailers, I mean, for a 20-foot food trailer, fully built out, you're looking at like 60, 65. I got quoted, I think one was like $63,000, another one was $67,000. I mean, that's insane. I mean, I can get the trailer for about $9,000 to $10,000, and then you're talking about another 26 to 30,000, high end 35,000. So realistically, I could do it all myself for 40 to 45,000. Yeah, that's saving 20 grand. And that goes a long way. Now, let's say hypothetically I'm able to get a loan for 10, 15, 20,000. Like, what happens with the money from Kickstarter? All of that goes to, paying for the employees, maybe making some upgrades on the equipment so things last longer. Better equipment is just better. Now, maybe upgrading to the solar generator versus a regular generator. I didn't even put in HVAC. That's another $1,000. $800, I think, just for the unit. Probably a little bit. So $800 to $900 for the unit, plus miscellaneous supplies like a disconnect switch and stuff like that. So it's going to be right up at $1,000. So all that stuff, I didn't even include things like jack stands, like trailer stabilizers, things like that. I mean, these are all, and then I would eventually love to put in a second concession window, which would actually house a digital menu using a TV. I'm an electronics guy. I know how to do electronics, all that stuff. So, and then if there's doing things like marketing, and then there's hiring a marketing guy, whether it's part-time or full-time. And then there's, and then maybe going from a part-time helper to a full-time helper. Those are things that that I'm going to help need. And so all the money is going to go to the business. It's not going to, trust me, it's not going to go to pay me. I still plan on working. I'll be working until the business is self-sufficient. That means we're making enough money to break even so I can pay everybody. I can pay for all the food. And the money also goes towards helping get the right ingredients. I don't want to go cheap. I don't want to go the easy route by buying pre-marinated stuff, buying low cuts of meat. Bulgogi really does well when you're going with a quality meat like a ribeye. And ribeye, we know beef prices are not cheap. So, and I would love to start buying meat from local farms. but that requires capital up front. You know, you're talking about $15,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a cow. Depends on how big the cow is, but then that's fresh meat, locally raised meat that I can get from a local farm. Same thing with pig. You know, I need pork belly for the spicy pork bulgogi, and I would love to be able to have maybe rent some space. That was my cat, by the way, meowing. He's starting to go a little berserk. Being able to grow my own Napa cabbage, being able to grow my own daikon radish and carrots for the kimchi. These are all, and then, but in the meantime, maybe sourcing it from local farms. But you know, if I am able to grow it myself, you know, then hiring people. You know, I'm big on job creation. I'm big on trying to not just do this for myself, but you know, do it for the community, provide jobs, provide a great, healthier option than fast food, while also, and I don't plan on overcharging. You know, I want to make sure that most people can afford the food. So if you guys can help, fantastic. Once again, we have a Kickstarter campaign. We do have a Patreon campaign. If you want to help differently, you can private message me. You can email me at soulgood@sweetsoulfood.com. You can see that on our website. You can contact me through the website. You can contact me on Facebook, TikTok. You can contact me on Patreon. So there's lots of ways to get a hold of me. Like I said, you don't have to just go through Kickstarter. You don't have to just go through Patreon. You can message me directly and we can talk about it. Whatever it is that you want to do. I'm always open to suggestions and ideas. So now this video is getting a little long. We're going on we're over 26 minutes. So I just kind of want to end it there. I just want to be as thorough as possible. I don't know how many people actually watch these videos in its entirety, but I know it's a lot of information, but I wanted to let you guys know why I'm asking for money, why I'm asking for so much money. And I don't take that lightly, but just know that I will be spending at least $10,000, probably around $10,000, not including the trailer. So, if you guys can help, fantastic. Please do so. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Also, another great way to help support the channel is to like, subscribe, and share the content. And I will leave this at my going on the 28-minute mark and just leave you guys with that. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.